Hello, I'm Obsidian Zenon, and I forgot to record an introduction to this video, so we're starting outside. This is a 6.5 meter long gal pipe, which is going to be one of the end supports for the HF fan dipole that I'm going to be building, the fan dipole antenna. It's going to be resonant on the 80 meter, 40 meter, 20 meter, and 10 meter amateur bands, with a low enough SWR on the bands in between that I can just use a transmatch to get to them no problem. This pole is behind the fence because it's going to be propped up and U-bolted to one of these posts. Not the most stable thing in the world, but it'll do. And the antenna will come across over to, you can't see it, at the apex of that roof is the 2 meter 70 centimeter vertical dipole that I built in a previous video. And just going to be using some steel wire rope, 1.5 millimeter steel wire rope. Not the best antenna wire, but it does have very good tensile strength, and it's cheap, so there you go. It is stainless steel though, so it's a bit of a pain to work with, but apart from that it's fine. And there are a few other details that I'll probably go over while this thing is being put together, but I don't know if you can see over here. You can't, but at the end I've drilled a hole with the help of my father. We've drilled a hole through it and put some cold galvanizing coating on it, and we're going to stick an eye bolt through it, which is going to allow us to pull a rope through, which will let us tension the dipole and bring it down for tuning. I've got a nano VNA to tune it. Didn't really, you can just use an SWR meter, but a nano VNA lets you check over a wide frequency range at the same time. And so I'm just about to put this pole up, so we'll get to that soon. And not too long later, the mast is up. That rope is just there so it doesn't fall out, but it's going to be, pretty inconspicuous once it's done. It's more stable than I was expecting, though we're going to have to actually put some guy wires probably at the top of the fence and put them into these trees, which are much more stable, but overall pretty good. And now I can start winding the Balun. This is the testing setup, just to see if our design works at all. So this is just the 80 meter elements. They're about 22 meters long each, a little bit extra so that we can fold the wire back and tunes and not have to cut it. But as you can see, we've got insulators on the end going to this 1.5 mil steel wire rope from Bunnings. Goes to another insulator and this rope bit, which holds the Balun with a carabiner for now, but eventually the rope will just go straight through the hole. This is just for testing because this has not been waterproofed yet. This is a strain relief for RG213, so we're not using that yet. Just have it there. Little eye terminals crimped to this, and these are held with these little U-bolt things for the wire rope. Technically I'm supposed to put 2 or something, so I'll have to loosen this up and get an extra one, but that's the general idea. And we're just going to string this between the J mast and the pole that I put up recently, and give it a test on 80 meters. I'll see if I can get someone to respond to me. And there is your testing setup See the Balun up there with the strain relief that's not being used, just some RG58 coming down. And I'm using the Nano VNA, but I've taken a break right now. The VNA says that this is slightly too long. It's resonant at about 3.35 megahertz, not the 3.6 that I want. That pole over there is bending quite a bit, and I don't know if guy wires are going to help it at all because the trees are really close. The angle that they're coming down may not do anything, and putting them halfway down the pole may actually be worse for it. But you know, I'm not a structural engineer, so you know, if it breaks, oh well. But other than that, it seems to be working alright. And this seems to be a pretty good spot to put it. You can see, I don't know, you can't see, but maybe, yeah, that very thin wire going all the way over there. And I'll go over and show you the actual connections to the pole. There it is, just the insulator. That's some masking tape to hold it in place, because you know, there's some clips on there, but we don't want to have to put like 5 clips there for now. We've already shortened the entire antenna by 2 meters, but I think we need to do 2 more, possibly even more than that. And this just comes down, and we've just tied it to the fence. Same for the other side, except it's tied down somewhere else. Yeah, there you go. Well, after a bit of testing, the SWR on 80 meters is good, though we haven't permanently trimmed the antenna because it's probably going to change when we add the other elements. It was a bit, you know, we had to take like 3 meters off each side or something like that, but it's fine. And I could hear myself faintly in a nearby web SDR on 80 meters, though I'm going to try again at night because I think I can do better than that. But it's got good 40 meter reception, though I can't transmit on it at the moment.
Echo 3 Whiskey Sierra Golf.
Echo 2 Echo 6 for Alpha, g'day again Greg, 5 and 9.
The pole is now guyed with these wires, and it's actually really good. Sorry, that's the ropes. There's another wire there. So these wires come down into, I don't know if you'll be able to. There you go. Wait, there, into the trees right over there. You can see that little metal stainless steel eye thing. And they come up to the top eye, and I'll do my best to zoom in, but I don't think it's gonna. Oh, it's not too bad actually. But yeah, you got some symbols there, and no stainless steel makes contact with the gal, which is good. And yeah, so this is actually configured in such a way that, so this is pulled tight right now, and the pipe is straight. But if I were to loosen this, which I'm not going to do now because I need 2 hands, the pipe would still stay straight, because these guy wires are not actually pulling on the pipe any more than they have to. And I want to show you something here. If I wobble the fence, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the top doesn't actually move. My dad and I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's all guyed now, so we have started on the spreaders for the rest of the elements, and we'll get to that shortly. The antenna's pretty much almost done now, so we have these spreaders in, and there's your 4 elements. So 80 meters at the top, then 40 meters, 20 meters ends there, and 10 meters ends there, and it's quite a short one. But these spreaders were not the original ones. So the original ones were these high density polyethylene rods, and they're very soft, so they actually bend. You can even bend them just by pushing them, but they bent under the tension of putting elements on them, so we had to not use them. And they also bent when the sun shone on one side, that one side would expand, but the other side wouldn't, so they'd bend away from the sun, so pretty bad. So instead, we have these, which are hollow, so the other rods are solid, but these are PVC pipes that are black. And they are a lot more rigid. They bend a little bit, but that's probably because we don't have the position on the bottom rope right. And to keep the rods nice and vertical, we do have that little black rope. So right at the bottom, that's not an element, that's a I think it's black builder's line or something, but it comes back, and it never makes contact with any of the elements, and it just comes back and ties off to the rope behind the insulator there. Zoom in, right there, the butterfly knot and a bowline knot, I think. And yeah, so we've only done one half, so we have to do the other half and then tune, which will take forever because every time we tune we have to move these rods, which are held in with 3 clamps and a loop of rope, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, it's almost there. So all the elements come into these big 3mm clamps, focus, and they come around into these insulators for the rope and come out into 4 separate things. They don't have to be 4 separate things, but it's just easier that way rather than finishing them all off here and then making one go down. It doesn't really matter, but there's that. So they'll all clamp onto the one side of the Balun, and it'll happen same on the other side. And this little bit of rope, we'll just put a stainless steel load-bearing carabiner on and then hook the Balun on, and it makes it so we can just take the Balun off really easily and do whatever we want. And each element comes down into its own dedicated spreader, which is the hollow PVC pipe, and it comes down and it goes through a hole and just loops around with a clamp. And the spreaders go, all of them, oh, that's a bit dodgy, you'll have to fix that, but all of them, the 80 meter element passes through all the spreaders, but the other ones just go around it until right at the end. So all of these have their own ending spreader over there, and this bottom black builder's line goes out and it tensions all of these rods so that they're vertical, and obviously tensions the actual elements themselves off to that knot over there that I showed earlier. And yeah, pretty good. And these are not stainless steel eye terminal things, they're just standard tinned copper, I think, because the stainless steel ones are really hard to crimp and you have to get a special tool, and it's not called crimping, it's called something else anyway. But that is the design, and it's working quite well. It's pretty strong, and yeah, so we just have to fix up stuff like this, and on that side there's a few wonky spreaders, but once we do that we'll tune and then it'll be time to test it out. So just before I record this next clip, you will notice that the audio is significantly worse right now, and that is because the previous camera that I was using, it's a phone, right? A Google Pixel 4a, and you don't have to listen to my story to be informed about what's going on with its battery problems. Just Google Pixel 4a battery problems and you'll get the full picture. But basically, the phone is now locked from even getting into its bootloader because the battery is completely shorted out, I assume, and the BMS is stopping it from booting up. So I've switched to somebody else's Pixel 6a, which doesn't have an external audio jack for me to plug in my microphone, so you can blame Google on both accounts there. Anyway, I'm outside and it's starting to rain, so I'm just going to go undercover here, but I'm outside. It's relatively early morning, so that's why there's a lot of birds at the moment, and also it's a pretty bleak looking day. But apart from that, the antenna is now pretty much fully tuned, so 80 has been tuned the whole time through the tuning process, but tuning 40 and 20 and 10 were a massive pain because, changing the length of one changes the electrical length of, the resonant frequency of the other elements, so, it was a bit of a pain, but we got it done in the end. And the way we did that is, I don't know how to zoom in on this one. Oh, you can do that, okay. This is really bad, but do you see those little plastic things where the metals, those little U clamps are supposed to be? That is a electrical screw terminal, similar to like a Wago connector with those snap lock things, but it uses a little screw terminal thing instead of a snap lock. Anyway, it worked very well for being able to chill. I didn't know this thing could go at half zoom. It worked very well for being able to tune very quickly. You didn't have to constantly loosen those little nuts with a pair of needle nose pliers. But obviously this thing's not weatherproof, so what we're going to do is we're going to mark where the tuned length was, slide those screw things off, excuse me, and then put on the stainless steel clamps for the final thing. Obviously these are not straight, and that one's slightly bent, so we have to fix up that, but that doesn't change the tuning. The 10 meter element is actually tuned to the FM part of 10 meters rather than the SSB part, which is where I want it. And you know, we were gonna bother tuning with it, but I ended up finding an antenna matching unit much quicker than I had thought, and I tested it out. I can just you know, match down the not so resonant part of the 10 meter band and, you know, be fine. Also it does all the HF bands in between now, so pretty good. So hopefully this weekend is the last weekend I'll be working on this, because it should be done after that. If you look up there, you see some blue electrical tape around the Balun, and that's there. So under the blue electrical tape is self-amalgamating tape, which is this tape you wrap around and it sort of seals up the coax, and then under that's another layer of electrical tape to protect the coax. Just look for any tutorial on it. Oh, that's some weird stabilization. Anyway, I've done the same thing, and I'm going to go out into the slight sprinkle that's going on right now. I've done the same thing to the lightning arrestor here, see that? And yeah, it's not a perfect seal because of that edge there, but it's probably fine. And that lightning arrestor, we got the electrician to come out, and I don't know if I said this before, but it's illegal to put in your well, no, you can put in your own RF ground stake, but legally it has to be bonded to your mains ground stake, which can only be done by an electrician. So you may as well just get an electrician to do the whole thing. So you see that's the RF ground stake that the electrician put in, and it goes off to the mains one, and there's another one on that side of the house, but that's my one. And basically the lightning arrestor will connect there. He's left us another bolt and nut that we can just attach to, and he's also left us, can you see it? Yeah, you see that little coil of wire in there? That's wire connected directly to the earth, so I can actually bring that wire into the room, because that's basically where the 2 meter 70 centimeter RG213 stuff is heading in. I can bring that earth wire in and earth the radio and the tuner and, you know, whatever else has an earth terminal. But yeah, so the coax from the antenna will run onto the roof under this awning sort of thing, through here, and then down the pole and into the exact same spot where this cable for the 2 meter 70 centimeter antenna is. So yeah, hopefully I can get that done this weekend. It's relatively easy, just putting up you know, the clamps that hold the coax to the metal, and also some final steps on the antenna just to get it all finalized. But yeah, should be good. Again, sorry about the audio, but it is what it is. Coax has been run, you know, not super great across the house. It's just an interim thing, but comes down the TV mast down over there. There's your lightning arrestor connected to the earth stake, and it runs off into the room, and it comes up through the floor there. So on the right is the 2 meter 70 centimeter dipoles, on the left is the fan dipole, and then also the earth wire, which is brought up through the same hole. And that can come out, and I can bring it over to my Yaesu FT107, plug that in, the little MFJ matching unit there, and we'll be laughing. So I'm going to end the video there. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them if you leave them in the comments. But yeah, I'm going to call it a day on that project, and I'll be getting on the HF bands. And yeah, once again, I apologize for the drastic decrease in signal to noise ratio of my videos. Again, blame Google, but Yeah, thanks for watching, like and stuff, and see you next time.